Welcome to this week's episode of So It's Not Just Me. I'm your host, Joanna, and today we are going to talk about divorce. So, anybody who does know me knows that this is my second marriage, and when I got divorced first time, it wasn't really something that I knew what to do or what to expect. Um, because you may have heard in a previous episode, I was only maybe the third person, maybe fourth in my family to get divorced. So I thought, why not pick on another member of my family, get them on here and listen to her experience. So I'd like to introduce you to Tina. Tina, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tina from Doncaster, and I'm Cherry's second cousin.
Yes.
Sorry, Joanna's second cousin.
we're, we're all the same. It's fine. um, so, like I say, we're going to talk about divorce a little bit today. I think, were you maybe the fourth person in the family to get divorced?
uh, so it was Sharon, weren't it, first?
Yeah,
And
Sharon, Mike, and then me.
Mike.
Sorry, Paul. Sharon, Paul,
Yeah,
me, and
Paul,
then you.
and then you, and then me, yeah.
Yeah. So nobody gets married thinking they're going to get divorced.
No,
And I don't know about you, but when I got divorced, I did not expect it.
no.
I'd been out the night before. I thought everything was wonderful. I didn't know that things weren't great in my marriage. I knew
Mm,
that it wasn't perfect, but
yeah.
I didn't think that they were great. So how was yours?
I didn't expect it either. I knew things weren't great. Things haven't been great for a while, but you feel that you can work through it.
Yeah.
And you try hard to make things right. So for me, it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
I just thought my world just came crashing down,
Yeah.
basically.
And you'd been married quite a long time, right?
We'd been married 24 years, together for 28. And like yourself, when you get married, you think you're married for life. I mean, I always wanted what Nan and Gran Purdy had.
Yeah.
You know, they loved each other till the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always wanted that.
And that I think I spoke to somebody previously and said, we're definitely from our town, people who stay married until they die.
Yeah,
If there's a problem, you
yeah,
work on it, you fix it, you
yeah,
get over it. And
yeah.
so deciding to divorce it's
Yeah,
hard. It's really hard.
yeah, because it wasn't my decision.
Yeah.
So I found it really difficult. Um, uh, I really, really struggled. Really struggled.
I I rebelled a lot. I started drinking more than I would have usually. I didn't
Mm.
leave the house much. Um I did like the teenage things of piercings and
Did you?
tattoos and things.
I um, I lost my confidence. My confidence wasn't great to start with. Um, I lost all my confidence. I didn't go to work. I went on sick. I didn't go out of the house. I didn't even get out of bed for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I weren't eating. I lost 2 stone in weight. And it weren't until my kids said something to me. So Michael came home from work one day and he said, "Mum, you've got to get out of bed. You've got to look after yourself."
Yeah.
When I eventually did get out of bed, I couldn't function. I was shaking from head to foot. And my daughter Sophie said to me, "Mum, you need to go to the doctors."
Yeah.
Took myself off to the doctors, and what do the doctors do? Put you on antidepressants.
And that doesn't do
So,
it.
yeah, so I did take them for a couple of days, and I remember looking at this packet of antidepressants, and I just thought, no, I'm going to do this myself. You're
Yeah.
not going to get to me. I'm going to do it myself. So gradually, I did, with the help of friends and talking. Gradually, I did come round, but and started to lift myself out of this hole I'd got myself into.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's really hard as well because you get yourself stuck. Like say
Mm,
you don't know there's something wrong. You don't realize that the other person isn't necessarily happy in the relationship anymore, and you can't, like you say, you're not wanting to get out of bed and you're stuck, and you become reliant on so many people, and
yeah.
I remember thinking, like, I had a little dog, so if I didn't have that dog to get up and
Yeah,
feed, I wouldn't have,
that's it. That's it. And I
that was,
think if it weren't for my kids, I would have fallen maybe deeper and deeper and deeper. But they kept me sane, basically.
yeah. And your kids are older as well. Like, my
Yeah,
kids are the same age
they
as
were
me.
older, so I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it did affect them, but I think because they were older, I didn't know so much how it
Right.
affected them. You
I
know.
think I think it would affect in a complete different way, wouldn't it? Like,
Yeah,
I don't imagine my parents ever getting divorced, but if they did, I think that would completely break my world because
yeah,
you always see your parent as that stable um, platform that you're looking up to, I
yeah,
guess. So it's,
yeah,
and when I think as well, when you are that bit older, you're kind of just used to your parents always being together, so
yeah, yeah.
it's difficult.
I mean, I have learnt since the divorce. I have learnt that my kids knew something. My kids knew that we shouldn't have been together. They knew things weren't right. But I've only learnt that afterwards.
Right, right.
When I've
And
spoke to them.
I guess it's not really something they'd ever say to you. Is like, "Hey, I don't think you should be with dad."
No.
It's yeah, I don't think that's really something they'd say. How did you approach the conversation with them? Did you do it together and explain?
No. It was um, him. He spoke to them because it
Right,
was his decision. So he was the one that spoke to them. So whatever that conversation was, I don't know.
right, right. What kind of challenges did you face initially? Obviously, struggling to get out of bed and not wanting to go to work, but
The fear of the unknown, the fear of where will I live, what will my life be like. I mean, I'd never ever been on my own.
right,
I'd never made decisions for myself. Well, I'd never made any decisions because I weren't allowed to. The marriage was quite controlling for the last couple of years, so to the thought of having to do things on my own was really scary.
yeah. No, I get that too. I know that eh, people say things change when you get married, and I didn't really believe it until it did.
Mm,
And I've never really spoke too much about my first marriage, but mine was quite controlling as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
if you look back, I was never. I always had house parties because I was never allowed to go out,
yeah,
but I was allowed people to come in.
mm,
So like silly little things
yeah.
like that kind of controlling and
Yeah, the financially as well. I just weren't allowed to make decisions, and if I did, it was the wrong decision. I'd
yeah,
not done it right. So
yeah.
for me to start on my own and make these decisions was really, really scary.
And it's like not
You
knowing where
know,
to start.
yeah.
Was you was quite young when you got married?
I was 24 when I got married.
So that
Yeah.
is still quite young.
But
And
I was 21 when I had Michael, so you know, and that
yeah,
was looking back now, that was really young.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't really sound it nowadays, but at the same time, it really does. I can't.
Yeah.
If somebody said to me, "Oh, you're going to get married at 19," which I was, it's like, "Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?"
But your mum and dad were really young as well when they got married, weren't they?
Yeah. So my mum, I think, was 20, and my dad was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And
But looking back, I was 24, but Sean was 3 years younger than me, so he was only 21 when we got married.
right,
So
yeah. So it is thinking that we're an adult too soon, I guess. Even
yeah.
now, I don't feel like an adult sometimes.
Yeah.
So when you had to start moving on, where did you start? Where did you, like you said you've never lived on your own before? I'm guessing you had to like look into paying bills and things yourself.
Yeah,
How did
so
that look?
I had to see about getting a mortgage for myself, which was a scary thing. I thought, how am I gonna pay a mortgage? And so I eventually found a house and I moved in. um, got my mortgage. But I used to spend so many nights not sleeping, thinking, have I paid this? Have I paid that? Making sure all my bills were being paid.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, for the first, well, for a lot of years, it was really difficult because I'd always had that support,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it was my, I'd
Yeah.
got to do it myself, because if I
I'd
didn't do it, nobody else was going to do it.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I used to check the bank account every single
Yeah,
day and had a
yeah,
list and checked everything off,
yeah,
and, like, had been convinced by my ex-husband that I'd never be able to afford the house on my own, which, looking back now, I could, but
yeah,
he completely convinced me I couldn't, and moving back to my parents at 20 I was 24, 25 when I moved back. I was like, didn't expect that at all. That was a
yeah,
big shock, and then to start
yeah,
again,
yeah,
it's never easy.
yeah. I worked really hard, but then I always have. I've always worked really hard. So, I mean, my best friend says to me now, look at you. She says, I'm so proud of you. Look at where you are now to where you were when you
Yeah,
first started out.
yeah.
So, I
I
mean,
think
I'm looking at paying my mortgage off next year. I never ever thought I'd be in that position.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
really good. And we're looking to get onto the mortgage ladder next year.
Oh,
So
bless you.
it's a bit different over here, but
Yeah.
it's a start. Oh yeah. So what was like the turning point where you thought, you know what, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna do this, I can get on with
I
my
I think that the feeling that you've got to do it. Um, nobody else is going to do it for you. You've got to do it.
Yeah,
So, um, as time goes on, your confidence grows, your strength. You know, where my strength came from, I'll never know, but it did.
do you think your strength developed or came back when you started having grandkids?
Oh no, it came back way before that.
Did it? Right.
Yeah, way before. Like I said, I started going out with my friends, um, and building a whole new life for yourself. Because I was 47 when I got divorced. Heidi didn't come along till I was 50.
Oh, okay.
So it all developed before that.
Right, right. I can't remember timelines anymore. There's so many grandkids and nieces and
Yeah.
nephews and things now that
Yeah. So
I
I'd
get
got three
confused.
years. I had 3 years really before Heidi came along.
Right.
Um, so I'd obviously got divorced, moved into my own house. So as each obstacle comes along, you get stronger and stronger,
Yeah.
because you think to yourself, well, I've done that. Now I've done that, and I am stronger than what I think.
Yeah. Do you find that you're a complete different person now to what you was, say, when you got married or say when you got divorced? Are you like a new version of
Absolutely,
yourself?
absolutely. Um, After the divorce, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my personality was, and then as time went on, and I found myself again, and I knew, started to believe in myself, and my confidence grew, and I just thought I quite like myself. You know,
Yeah.
I am a nice person. I quite like who I am. So
Yeah. I was very similar. I have had a lot of terrible relationships. And each time I feel like it knocked my confidence more and more and more, and I didn't recognize myself at all. Like
yeah,
I didn't know what I
yeah.
was. I
I
didn't even
didn't
know if
know.
I ever deserved to be anyone or
Yeah,
deserved to have anyone.
yeah,
And the way that people kind of felt pity, and
yeah,
that made it worse.
yeah. I
Um,
didn't I didn't know in the beginning, the early days, I didn't know who I was. I didn't feel I was good enough. I didn't feel I earned enough money to be good enough for somebody.
yeah,
Um, because I've never really had a career as such. I've always had just little part-time jobs. So I just didn't feel good enough, you
right.
know?
And I think as well, again, going back from where we're from and like the era and things, you didn't like women didn't have to have a career. They didn't have to have a full-time job because
Um,
you're meant to be set for life with
mm,
your marriage and your kids and growing old. So it is very, very confusing.
yeah. And so now I am confident. I do like myself, and I'm fiercely independent,
Yeah.
you
Do you ever
know?
find that you're too independent?
Yeah, yeah,
I do too. Kyle tells me all the time, like, he'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna, I don't know, put some shelves up." I'm like, "Well, I can do that." It's like, "You don't have to though." Like, "Yeah, but I can because, I'm independent enough to do it. I can drive wherever I want to go and just not think about it or, you
Yeah,
know, be a little bit too independent." But
yeah. I don't like asking for help. I do
no.
if I have to, but I don't like asking for help.
No, I think that's something mum and dad brought me up as though as well, is you don't need to ask anybody else. You can.
Mm,
I think that is just a whole of our family really. The younger
yeah,
generation especially has been
yeah,
brought up, don't rely on anyone, you can do it yourself, which is
yeah.
great parenting from all of you, I would say. You're all done a good job.
Oh, yay!
So we was talking a little bit beforehand about how we still struggle sometimes now, even though it's been years
Mhm.
and years, and it's not wrong to still struggle. Um, I kind of describe it to people as like grief, and
Yeah,
it's always going to be there, and it
yeah,
never goes away. It just everything gets easier, and you learn about yourself
yeah.
more. Is there anything that you do or that you've found helps on those like really difficult days?
Just talking it, like I say, your friends are your lifeline. Just talking about it, and now I can talk about it with Sophie too.
Yeah,
In the early days, I couldn't because at the end of the day, it's her dad. He'll
yeah,
always be her dad. So uh, I don't talk about him. I talk about myself.
yeah,
So and so we can now talk about things. Um, but definitely your friends are your lifeline. I mean, I think my best friend got sick of me sometimes, but she was always there to lend an ear when I needed
yeah,
it. And talking it through with somebody definitely helps. Um, as the years have gone on, it's got easier. I don't need to talk about it as much.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's definitely a bereavement, but like a bereavement. You
yeah,
go through all these different emotions, the anger, the hurt, you know, the sadness, and, because your life's never going to be the same again.
right,
Your
right,
life's changed completely, and it's
yeah,
never going to be that life that you had before.
no. I found as well that in the early days, I don't now, but in the early days, I felt guilty when I felt happy because I was like, well, I shouldn't be happy that I'm getting divorced because this is like marriages for life and things. So I really
Yeah.
struggled with that. Now it's like the best thing I could have ever done, and I'm
Oh,
really
yeah,
happy and
yeah,
things. But
yeah.
at the
But
time,
you don't see that in the beginning. You don't see that one day your life's going to be great.
yeah,
You don't see that, but
no,
it is. One day your life is going to be great, and you look back, and that's just another chapter of your life that
yeah,
happened. But it had to happen for you to get here.
yes,
You
yeah.
know.
And I think now I'm a much nicer person now.
Yeah,
More I've always been a friendly person, but
yeah,
I've learned how to develop boundaries.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's something that's from divorce because I learned when to say no and learned when to
yeah,
say this isn't right. And
yeah,
but that took years,
yeah,
like a lot of years to get to
yeah,
that stage.
yeah.
Um,
I definitely have learnt how to have a voice because I never used to have a voice before, and an
right.
opinion because I never had an opinion. Um, I weren't allowed to have an opinion or a voice. I feel like I've got to be careful here. Uh, because I was in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
But now, whatever I say is me. This is me.
And if you don't like it,
I don't
it's
have to watch how can I put this? I don't have to. What I'm saying is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it because somebody else has stood behind me,
yeah,
controlling what I say.
yeah,
This is me now.
yeah.
So I'm my own person.
That's good. That's really good. That's the
Um,
same. Like I said before, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to do, and people from the outside always thought that I had like the best relationship, and that's what's hard as well. Because I
well,
find when it's controlling, they're very
yeah,
good at masking what's actually going on.
exactly. People were shocked when we split up because they thought we'd got the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
So it's surprising what people people see it differently
Yeah.
to what is actually happening.
I know I was definitely surprised
Yeah,
when I had heard that you was getting divorced. That
yeah.
wasn't on my radar at all. So,
No, no.
but I don't know. Um, what would you say to someone who's worried about how a divorce might affect the kids, so they're staying in a marriage for the kids?
I think personally, it's it does them more harm than good staying in a marriage for the kids.
Yeah.
You know, kids are quite resilient, and the kids will move on quicker than what you will.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, definitely not. They'd rather
Don't do it.
my kids would have rather have me moved on sooner and be happy than stuck it out for a few more years because of the kids.
Right. Right. Yeah. There's no
Mm,
point. No
no.
point doing.
And like I say, the kids are resilient. They'll move on quicker than you, and they'd rather see you happy
Yeah.
than unhappy in an unhappy marriage.
Yeah. I asked that question to Kyle because his parents divorced when he was about 12, I think, 11 or 12 kind of
Yeah.
age. And I said to him, how did you feel? Would you have rather them stay together? And he was like, not a
No.
chance.
Yeah.
And like you say, they're so resilient and they see things that grown-ups don't see. They see more
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
think you're hiding.
Yeah. I think the when the definitely when the kids are older, they see more and they know more. Um, I haven't had the experience of obviously it happening when your kids are younger, so I don't know. But definitely when the kids are older, they know that you're not in a happy marriage. So I think for me, for my kids, it was a bit of relief
Yeah.
that we had to split up.
Yeah. What do you think? So, like, okay, we're gonna move on from the sadness of
Yeah,
divorce a little
yeah,
bit because we can we can talk about sadness all day, but I don't like
yeah,
being sad all day, especially on a sunny Sunday afternoon.
yeah.
What do you think the most exciting part is about yourself after being divorced and moving on?
Doing things that I'd never done before and thinking to myself, "Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I've never done this before," or finding and making a new life for myself, and as you know, meeting somebody, and because life goes on, and you are going to meet somebody. Sometimes you think you never will, but you will meet somebody, and life moves on, and it's wonderful
yeah. And you don't have to rush anything either. You can do it all at your
in
own
your own
pace.
time, in your own
Yeah,
pace, and you'll do it when you're ready.
yeah.
You know.
Were there any like hobbies, interests, passions, and things that you thought that's not really for me, but now you've tried it and you love it?
I don't know so much about hobbies. I mean, I did take up renovating furniture and
Oh yeah,
uh, you know, but walking. I did a lot
yeah,
of walking. That clears your mind.
yeah. That's great for
Yeah,
things like that.
but and just things to keep you. It were things to keep me busy. But I did work a lot as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, anything that takes your mind off things and or makes you happy. Yeah.
What? See, I've nearly finished with you already. Check this out. um, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's feeling lost after being in a long marriage and then it ends?
Yeah, just hang in there. And, I was 47 when I got divorced and I thought my life was over. It definitely wasn't over. It was
No.
just beginning.
Yeah.
It was just beginning. And it does get better. Each day, each year gets better. And it does take time, but you will get there.
Yeah. And it's like we said before we started recording, we were both divorced, we're both very happy now, but there is still that part of you that thinks about it and that's okay. It's okay
Yeah,
to still think
it
about
is.
it
It
and
is.
you know,
It's part of your life that'll never go away. It'll always be
yeah,
there.
Yeah. If somebody said to you, you can't ever think about a person that passed away ever again, well, you wouldn't
Mm,
say that. So it's the same
no.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. You should be okay, and
Yeah.
it, like you say, it shapes you into the
Yeah.
person.
And whatever happened, he'll always be there because he's my kid's dad.
Yeah,
So it's never going to go away. It'll always be there. But you move on,
yeah,
and you do make a new life for yourself, and you know it does get easier.
yeah,
So people, and I've got a couple of friends at work who would have just split up from their husbands, and my advice to them was, you'll get there eventually.
yeah,
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah. You don't need to rush into
And it might take you 2 years, it might take you 10 years, but you will get there.
yeah. I remember somebody tried to get me on a dating app uh, like 2, 3 months after I was getting divorced, or the divorce was still going through. I
Yeah,
hadn't finalized it then, and I was like, but what do I say to people? Like,
yeah,
how
yeah,
I'd met this guy when I was 15 years old and got married when I was
yeah. So you
uh,
didn't
19, and
you didn't have really any life skills in that subject, did you?
no, so I'm like, how do you talk to people?
Yeah,
Well, how do you do all this? This is brand new. I don't know what's going on. So
yeah,
it's those first steps as well that are quite scary, but
yeah,
you know, make them fun, make them
yeah,
exciting, and
yeah. Well, I met Neil through a couple I met on holiday.
oh, okay.
So he weren't. I always say I met him on holiday, but he weren't there.
I
I
like
met
fun stories.
Yeah, I met his best friend on holiday, and he put us in touch, and that's how it is.
Everyone always thinks I met Kyle online, but technically I didn't, but I did, but it wasn't through a dating app. So, it was my best friend and him went to school together. So,
Yeah,
but we only started talking online. So everyone assumes it was a swipe left, swipe right kind of situation, but it
yeah.
wasn't. But, you know, even if it was, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
once you're ready, you'll move on and you'll find
exactly.
what's right.
And yeah,
And like we said, I definitely know that I'm a better person. I think that you're a wonderful person either way, but you know, I can see how happy you are, and
yeah.
it's really nice. And that's what people need to remember is, you know, it's okay.
It is okay, and it will be okay,
Yeah.
and you'll be okay.
You're not the first person to get divorced, you're not going to be the last. And,
No, absolutely. It
things,
happens to more people now than ever did before.
yeah, I think it's like what, one in every three relationships or something
Yeah,
now end in divorce, which is quite sad. But
yeah. And everybody deals with it differently too.
yeah.
And if don't be embarrassed to seek help if you need help.
hmm
You know.
One of the things that I really struggled with now is maybe until like the last few months at least, I thought seeing a therapist or a counselor meant that as a failure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
seeing a therapist and a counselor has done wonders for me.
And yet it did. I did see a counsellor maybe a couple of times, and it didn't work for me. I found talking to my friends
Right.
worked better for me.
So I will say when I did see a counselor when Nana died.
Yeah,
Not many people know that, but I saw a counselor for a little while because I had PTSD when Nana died.
yeah,
Um, and that didn't help. But
mm,
I don't know if I was ready to talk to somebody who couldn't just fix my
yeah,
feelings.
yeah,
So maybe even if it could be 6 months later, it could be a year later. Sometimes that might help if people are still
yeah.
struggling. I don't know.
And it does work for some people, and I have heard of some people who it's worked for, but it didn't help me. It didn't do anything for me. I
I think
found it easier talking to my friend.
yeah, I think if you've got that support system that can listen.
Yeah,
I have a few friends that, and it's nothing. They're wonderful friends, but they don't know when to not give me their opinion. They don't understand when I just need you to listen to me.
yeah,
And that's what I'm kind of learning now is go to the friend who will listen and not
yeah,
judge and
yeah,
doesn't have to give me her opinion, will just
yeah,
listen to what I'm saying. So
yeah,
find that person who can do that would be my advice.
Yeah, definitely.
Final question for you.
Mhm.
Looking back, what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Uh, biggest lesson I've learned is don't give up. I know I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think that'd probably be my lesson as well. You know, you can do it, you can move on, you can
Yeah, you
be what
can
you
do
want to
it.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be anything
For
you
you might think I can't do this. I can't do it. Yes, you can. You can do it.
yeah. Thank you for coming to talk to me. I know it's been a little bit difficult to get hold of each other, but thank you so
Yeah.
much. Anyone who's still listening, thank you for being here, and until next time.